What is going on here, YouTube? This is Mr. Frankie Batsu coming at you. And did I find a SEMA car at the IAA auction? You guys tell me. I ran into this about a couple days ago. This is some only information I can find now that the auction is actually over with. It was in Orlando. As you can see here, it was Wednesday, actually the 10th was the auction. Now let's take a look at this thing. If we zoom in here, we can see the Toyo tires. We can see this, I believe, was the interior fabric. This one right here, I believe, is the leather wraps for the seats. This is Carbon Creations, probably who made this body kit. K&N, everybody knows what that is. And this, I believe, was the wheels. Borla is the exhaust, and right there, you see it, it says SEMA. Now, is this a real SEMA car or maybe a clone? Who knows? If any of you guys know, please let me know. And this was a 2013 Scion FRS. Let's see if I can close this up. I'll go through the pictures with you. It wasn't that bad condition considering it was a hail damaged car. Zooming in here, you can see where, oops, hold on. Let's see if we can get there. There we go. Now, when you look at those, you can kind of see the insurance company where they had drawn their lines. Fiberglass over fender. It shows where the hail damage was, but all in all, not too much hail damage. I would have driven this thing. I mean, the roof line doesn't look too bad. The trunk doesn't look too bad. None of the windows were broken, so that would have been a good thing. It did run and drive, as far as I know. And you can see here, these are the leather seats that were upgraded. They basically cover the cloth, from what I can understand. If I could, let's see if I can zoom in. I'm not sure how to do it with this computer. Also, it had these custom interior pieces. So it was done well. I mean, whoever did this, let's take a look at the engine bay. You can see that the alternator caps and stuff like that were taken off, and a lot of pieces are missing to fit this intake. We have the stabilizer bar aftermarket that was left in, along with these little right here's are stabilizers. This doesn't belong in this engine bay as far as I know. I don't know what that is. And then we can see, looks like a wire going for a stereo system. So why didn't I bid on this car? Well, the truth is, I tried to. IAA would not let me see the car in person unless I had a broker's ID number. And since I am not a broker, even though I had one, I would have had to pay an additional $100 to come look at the car to be added onto the broker's account. And let's go through what I think this car would be worth regularly, and what do you think it should have went at the auction? Well, for starters, I think a car with this many mods, if it was a 2013, let's say it would go for around 15 grand on Craigslist or Facebook or something like that, with about 100,000 miles on it, right? Now this one has 43,000 miles. However, when we scroll down, it's not the actual mileage. So we're going to have to deduct some money for that. It's got a rebuildable title, not rebuilt, rebuildable, meaning I'd have to have it pass inspection. Now what you don't see here, it does say damage type hail all over, but on the IAA actual website, it did say airbag or bags missing. Now, at first I thought, well, maybe they just swapped out the steering wheel for a racing wheel and I would just buy the original wheel. But that's not the case here. The story is, if you look right here, this is where your AC controller should be. And behind that, underneath, is where the module is for the airbags. So if they went through all the trouble to take all this out, take the module, take this airbag, this plastic cover would have just came off relatively easily. That airbag is most likely gone. And because of this angle, you can't really see whether they cut the headliner and took the curtain airbags. So the cost of the airbags would be about $2,000. Now, I figured this car was going to go for around $4,000, and the pre-bidding, before the auction bidding, it was all the way up past $2,500. Now, I decided to sit and watch the auction, even if I wasn't going to get it, to try to tell you guys how much it went for. However, the broker that I chose accidentally had me looking in the wrong lane. For example, if you're on the IAA auction, there's a lane A and a lane B, sometimes a lane C, whatever. And they had me looking at A when I should have looking at B, so it happens. I wasn't going to get too upset, but because I probably wasn't going to get it, I saw people going nuts over the bidding, and I don't think they realize how much it actually would cost to get this retitled, even if I was going to drive it with the dents and dings. And I was really hesitant, and I had not that great of an experience at the broker that I was using. So once again, there's a lot of things to think about. Once you spend all the money on getting this thing put back together, how much is it going to be worth? So if you take the fact that it's a rebuilt title, you'd have to get all the airbags. It's not the actual mileage. So to me, it's a $4,000 car. If you guys disagree, please leave a comment below. Yes, I realize I could have parted it out, but you have to remember that when you buy a car at auction, there's a lot of hidden fees. You got your broker's fee, you got your auction fee, you got the fee for them pulling it out in front of the yard. So if I bid at $4,000, this vehicle, if I had decided to use my credit card, would have went for around $5,000 to $5,500, including all my fees. So you start at $55,000, then you need $2,000 for the airbags. You're at $7,500 for a rebuilt title. Is it worth it? Well, in my opinion, it wasn't. But I was curious to see what it went for. If anybody knows what it went for, or even better, if you know the story of this car, I'd be really interested to know. Is it a real SEMA car? I mean, these things don't really turn up that much at auction. It's kind of like a diamond in the rough. These wheels are beautiful. They all look like they were in good shape. I know it was running and driving. You don't really see the back picture in this one. Let's see if we can get these. No, they don't have the back picture, but you could see that they had driven it into this spot because of the moisture that was under the exhaust. Now, the exhaust didn't look like it had any kind of special tips, but it does say Borla exhaust, had the Carbon Creations body kit. I would have drove this car around. I mean, it's a little pushy because, I'm an older guy and it's a little flashy for me to be driving this. So if any of y'all know what's going on with this car, how much it went for, or, who had it, I'd love to hear about it. Here I am trying to start up a YouTube channel, so if you're interested in videos like this where I try to find diamonds in the rough, whether it be at the auction or, around here in Florida, we have a lot more specialty cars than maybe if you're from Minnesota or Massachusetts or something. I drive down the beach and I see Teslas and Ferraris every day. So if you're interested in seeing stuff like that, go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. As of right now, I probably have 28 subscribers. So if you guys want to help me build a channel, I'll be happy to do the work. Thanks for your time, and reach out to me in the comments. Have a good one.